Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Salesforce Lightning Overview demo for QI Navigators. Hopefully you had the opportunity to join us last week for the other demo, but today we'll be going over kind of what's going on the back end. So without further ado, we have Dorothy Smetana from our Office of Early Childhood that will be running the demo today. Hello, Dorothy.
Hi. Let me know when you can see my screen.
We can see it,
We
Dorothy.
can see your email.
Yeah.
Oh, you see email? Okay, I want to
see
get
pretty blue water.
How about this? Now what do you see?
Yeah,
Perfect.
You see
There you go.
Salesforce?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Alrighty then. I'm logged in as a QI navigator, so you can see what you would see as a QI navigator. We are going to look at a level 1 here. And this is what the back end looks like now. It's pretty straightforward. It's a little bit cleaner, I think. The biggest difference is the related lists, instead of being at the bottom of the application, or I'm sorry, the account, you click on this related tab and you'll see the other related lists. So you can see the QRS application, the account history, etc. Also, you can navigate to those lists up here at the top, a lot like the way it was in Classic, where it's like a hyperlink. So we're going to go into Amber Spear's QRS application, and same thing as with the accounts, the related lists are on a separate tab there. So you can see she's got a classroom and she has program staff, and there's the program quality record, etc. So if we go back to the QRS application to access her dashboard, there's a button over to the right here. I know in Classic they used to be kind of in the center in this area here, but you want to click on this To New Dashboard button, and we've got a little hitch here where it's making us log in twice. So, but once you log in, you won't have to log in again on other dashboards. So I'm going to go QI, put in the password, click on login again, and I'm on the dashboard here. For those of you who attended last week, you'll recognize this. The main difference is, as a QI navigator, you see the program name and the license number on every page, whereas from the program user's point of view, they know who they are, so they don't have that information there at the top. We have the quick updates where you can change details without submitting an application. So those are here. And then once you click into one of them, you can access all of them without going back to the home page. And there's all the program information. And then if we go back to the home page, you can see the program, you can see the level that the program's at. This one's a level 1, and that's here as well. And they can start a new application here, a level 2, or they can do an alternative pathway. The other action that can be taken from here is they can go directly to apply for QI funds, and they can apply for QI funds. Now in this case, you can see that they've already been working on their program, because it says you're almost there. So that means that there's some information on their application or on their profile. So that's basically what the level 1 program will see. So if we log out here, and then we go back to the program over here, because that closes out that tab. If we go to another account, this one is a level 2. And same thing, we go to the Curious application. And here's the active application. And then we can go to the new dashboard. And since we already logged in when we went into the other dashboard, we don't have to log in again. Now in this program, you can see they're level 2, so they can start a level 3 application here or start an alternative pathway application here. So does anyone have any questions about that?
I don't see any questions in the chat right now, but you guys feel free to either ask to be unmuted or put your questions in. We're happy to take a pause and go over anything more slowly or faster, however you want this to go today.
Okay, so we can switch over to all the instruction manuals that we created, and we can start with the level 2 initial training now. Okay, the level 2 rating guide, and all the rating guides start with registering in Colorado Shines, and then so there's the whole registration process, and then it takes them step by step through the application process. So this is a level 2. Can you see that? Okay, it's a little bit blurry for me.
We can see it.
Okay. And then the instructions take you step by step. This one is a little wonky, I think, because I opened it up as a Google Doc. But it has the first thing they get is the "Do you need your assistance?" And it has the help desk number, the council phone number, and contact information for the QRS help desk and the PDIS help desk. Then it puts, oh, what's this? I must have gotten a bad doc. Anyway, it takes you through the steps of the process. Let me see if I can get a different document here that actually works.
We do have some questions.
Oh,
People
okay.
are asking where you can find the help documents. We have not released those yet, but we will after the video, correct? We'll have an email that'll go out, and we also have some videos that are about 5 to 6 minutes that explain this whole process, which is pretty cool because we don't even have those help guides now for our current system. So this should be very helpful for all the providers and for the QI navigators.
So I'm going to close this document out because it's not very good. But
I
basically,
wanted to add real quick to what Monica was saying to you guys. We will send those out to you after this recording. We were holding off just because you won't have access until next week, and we were doing final checks on them. We also just wanted to let you know too, there's the weekly communication that we've been sending out. We're going to send out to providers later this week. It's just going to say, hey, this is happening this weekend, but we're going to attach or give them the links to all of those help videos as well. And we'll say, if you need more support to, contact your ECC, QI Navigator or, the Colorado Shines Help Desk. So there'll be some of that communication as well.
And we've made a few last minute changes, so we're going to have to change some of our screenshots. So you may get more than one copy. We may send out another iteration of this. Okay. Erica has saved me. by sending me the the good one. So let me find that. No. Okay. Okay. So where were we with this? Okay, the application steps. So here it is. We go to the home page and you can look through these. It takes us through the application. No, this one's bad too. Okay. I lied to you.
Okay, I just emailed you the PDF if you want to open that one. I don't know
Okay.
why you're having problems with that. I can see them all, but
Okay.
your email is a PDF.
Okay.
And the ones we'll be sharing with providers and with councils are already in a PDF. When you convert this into a Google Doc, sometimes it messes it up, but the PDFs do look correct, and then that way no one can edit them.
Yeah.
Once we get Dorothy to pull up the
No.
better copy of this, we'll also go back to the dashboard to show you guys anything that you were looking for. I know that Faustina was looking to find out how you add teachers to the classroom, so we can show you where that's at. So.
Okay. Okay, that looks better. We went past the registration and then it takes us step by step through the process. And this one, you start the level 2 and you get the information. And here are the program detail page. So basically they just go through the required fields, have a red asterisk, and rather than having a save button, if you click next, it'll save the information. And also if you're on another tab, if you make changes and then click previous, it'll also save that page. So you can they can put in whether they accept full-time students, part-time students. If they select, if they don't select program open year round, it prompts them to put the dates in, and then you can also put in the dates and times. And this is very much like the previous portal that we had. And then here, once you navigate away, it gives you a status on the previous page that you were on. So in this case, since this is completely blank, it's telling you you have missing fields. And you fill in the children. And in this case, you do the ages and then the children in the number of children in each age group. And workforce has changed a bit because once you access that page, once you land on the page, it automatically connects with PDIS to get the staff. And so that get staff information is in there. And say, for example, somebody's missing and the user calls up PDIS and says, this person's not on the program, then they can go ahead and click that. Once it's corrected, they can go ahead and click that Get Staff button. But let's say they, go back the next day or whatever, then when they access this page, it'll automatically get staff again. And once they confirm that, they need to check this box before they move on to the next page. One of the bigger changes we have is with classrooms. Going forward, the classrooms are going to be entered by the licensing staff. The licensing specialist will enter the classroom when they make the inspection, or they will edit the classroom if something changes as far as, you know, the oldest, youngest age served, that sort of information. If the program user comes to this page and there are no classrooms in here, they need to contact the licensing specialist, and the licensing specialist will add the classroom. And they use the licensing uses the classrooms to attach the inspection data. So when they do an inspection, the information goes into that classroom. So the one thing that the program user does need to do is add a session on the classroom, since each classroom needs at least one session. So,
and just as a reminder, if you weren't with us, if you were with us last time, or if you weren't, there are now some fields in here that are required that were not required before. So just pay attention to those red asterisks, because it won't let you advance if you've got missing data.
So to add the session, they click Add Session, and then they get a pop-up, and all these are the asterisks that Karen mentioned. So nearly all the fields have an asterisk now, whereas before you could put a minimal amount of information in here. The highest number of students allowed in class comes from the classroom. That's been entered by the licensing specialist. The other thing that we've changed on here is we have enabled classroom temporarily not in use. So if a classroom is like not being used for the summer or under construction or that sort of thing, they can check this box, and then they'll get a pick list, and they select the reason that the classroom is temporarily not in use. And some of the reasons require a follow-up inspection. So like if it's construction, for example, then the licensing specialist will need to re-inspect that room before it can be changed. But if it's something like just closed for summer, then the program user can go back in and make this in use again. So here's more of the session information. Same thing as before. You have to have staff in the classroom, and if you don't have the program staff from PDIS, then there will be nothing here for them to move over into the selected teacher box. These again are required fields: youngest age type, oldest age type. There's a pick list for weeks, months, and years, and there's a scroll bar here so that you can make all of them visible. There's days, you can kind of see that up there. And you also have the high needs categories that you can enter. And once you've completed it, you can add the session, because as you can see here, if it's not complete, the add session button is not blue, but once you've completed it, it turns blue, so you can click it. And then, like as we have in the current portal, you can add the number of high needs children in each age group, and it'll automatically total it up over here. And the quality improvement page has changed quite a bit. So we have the overview, and then we have these collapsible sections where you can expand those to read the more information here. To create a new quality improvement goal, you add a quality improvement goal, and that's what I was talking about, the expandable section. And then you select a category, and you get a pop-up And you add all the information. These are all required fields, as you can see by the asterisk. And then you put in the text of the improvement goal. Once that's complete, you can click next. And then we get to the L2 indicator page. This is...
Hey, Dorothy, this is
Yeah.
Debbie. I wanted to point out super fast. So I'm the level 2 coordinator on the licensing end of things. We put in some text on the QIP so providers are aware that when they go to renew their level 2 rating, that they do need at least one new quality improvement goal in order to re-rate at a level 2. So this is kind of the main reason why level 2s are not granted in a timely manner if they are if the QIP has expired or if it's not within the 3 years. They just need to make one new goal when they're reapplying.
And that's right here.
Thank you.
You can't see it very well, but it's right here. It says you must have at least one program quality improvement goal to submit your application. If reapplying for your level 2, be sure to update and something. That feels like an eye test here. Quality improvement goal.
You passed.
It's much clearer on the screen though, really. And here we have the L2 indicators. Right now, it's very much like it was in the current portal. One thing to note is program can select no as an answer to one of these indicators, but they're required to put a note in why they're answering no. So before that you can move on, you have to enter the reason why you said no. And that's here.
Just to, this is not new, but we can still award level 2 if a program has a philosophical difference, maybe with one of the indicators. Like I always give this example, but for example, Montessori programs, they may not have that traditional block area with the traditional type accessories that is required for level 2. So if a program makes a note on there, they can still achieve level 2, even with some differences.
Okay. And then once that's complete, you may get this message. You may have missing items before you can submit. But if you don't, it will look like this, and it'll show each section has been completed. When they get to that point, if they click the application summary, they get to a page like this. And there's a checkbox to check before they can, this button turns blue so they can submit the level 2 application.
This is Debbie again. I just wanted to circle back to the level 2 indicators and explain one difference with this new version. In the past, family child care home providers were not required to fill out this section. They could, but we had successfully embedded the family child care environment rating scale, some of those criteria into licensing. Now that we have the FICRS 3 coming out, we made a determination with management that we would go ahead and put the level 2 indicators in for the family child care home providers, and they will also be completing this section. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. Now that's good, Debbie, because then they don't just have to listen to me drone on. They can listen to a nice
But I
voice.
do need to point out that the new indicators will not take effect until March because we had a delay in the development of that. So I'm not exactly 100% sure if a family child care provider goes in there on Monday, if they'll have to fill out the old indicators. My guess is that they will. But that's something that we're going to need to test.
Yeah, and the other thing is, but they are still able to check this. You do not have an infant toddler room and bypass those. And
The new
the same thing
indicators
as
won't be
preschool.
age specific. It'll be program specific. So
Right.
we'll just have a list of them under the new when those land in March. And of course, we'll give you plenty of notice when that's happening and information about what those look like. Not terribly different, just
And
more in
then that
line with the
option to
F3.
say, I don't have an infant toddler room, or I don't have a preschool room will go away, and they'll just have to fill in all the questions. Okay, so once they've submitted the application, then they get your level 2 has been submitted successfully notice, and they can return to the home page. And when you return to the home page, that start application button turns into a view application, so they can review the information that they put in. Another thing that you'll see throughout the application are these little eyes, and that just exposes some help text. Let's see. Okay, so then once they submit their application, they can go back in and they may get an email from the licensing specialist saying that there are things to correct on the application, and that will show as when they log back in as notes from your licensing specialist. So they can click there to see the note. And once they've resolved the issue, then they can mark that as resolved, and the licensing specialist will get an email and they'll review the resolution. And then hopefully at that point they can approve the application.
And I think, Dorothy, the provider also gets an email once the licensing specialist marks a comment. It'll come in an email to the provider.
Right. And then
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Log back in and say view application and look for those.
And then the other thing
Sorry. So yes, the provider does get an email notification, and it does include the subject matter and area where the comment has been placed in addition to the comment itself. And then that prompts them to log back into their portal and update that information as requested by the specialist. And that's what Dorothy's going to point out in this screenshot here.
Yeah, so you can see here, classrooms need attention, and the quality improvement needs attention, and the L2 needs attention. So when they go to each of those pages, the note will be up at the top of the page here telling them what they need to do. And once they resolve all of those, then the licensing specialist gets an email, and then they can either approve or write a new note or whatever before they approve the application.
And the other thing
it's designed to send an email to the specialist each time a comment is resolved. So if there's more than one comment, there will be more than one email sent to the specialist. But the email does include a link to that specific comment that has been resolved by the provider, so that the specialist knows which parts of the application have been moved along by the provider.
The other thing that's really cool about this enhancement that we did is last week, Dorothy tested this, but I believe the QI navigators can also see these comments. So when you're working with the programs, quite often you're not sure why level 2 wasn't awarded or what the delay is. You'll be able to see that now and exactly what the provider needs to do in order to help.
Debbie, just to confirm, they'd have to be in the portal to see that, right? So would it be on the back end where they're accessing?
It's only in the portal.
In the portal. Okay. So when you guys are like working with ABC Childcare and their license 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd click into their portal like Dorothy showed you how to do earlier, and you'd be able to see these comments in here. Because I'm just spelling that out because there is a question about that.
Okay, so that's the level 2 process.
So let's pause for a minute and see if there are any questions or if we need to go back to the test environment to show anybody anything they'd like to see.
There was a request to see how you would assign a teacher to a classroom. I know we went over it in the user guide, but if you guys want to do it kind of real time and select it, the teacher, and show how we can move her to the other column, that could be helpful.
So let's go back to classrooms.
Do you want to roll over to the test environment, Dorothy?
Yeah. No, not really. Okay. Because I have to log out and log in and stuff.
And while you log out and log in, Dorothy, I'm just going to address a different question we have. It says, is this going to be released in full on Let's Do This mode, or is there a testing phase? Who's the best person for councils to reach out to for tech support? So you would reach out to the Colorado Shines help desk, just as you would today with our current system. And then we are going, we're rolling this out this weekend. So when you log in Monday, you will see all these changes. We have been testing it, and then there will be a lot of testing going on this weekend as well.
Okay, so here, close your eyes while I do some magic. Let me see if I can find one that, I think this one works. So here I will log in as the provider, maybe. Okay, so on classrooms, see, this is not a good one. So log out. Let's see, maybe this one will work. Okay, so
She's showing you that when we went into classrooms, you would actually go into the session to make edits to teachers. You would just click on the teacher.
it's just exactly like it is now in Classic. So you can move them to the left to take them off and move them to the right to put them in. So nothing has changed on that. And the button is blue, so I can save the session.
Thanks for showing that.
Okay, is there anything else you want to see in here while we're on this program? And this is the program users view, not the QI Navigator view. So you can see there's no program name or license number up here. So then you know you're on the program user view.
So if there's anything you want to see that you missed last time, go ahead and type it in the chat box or just type in that you don't know what to call it, but you want to let us know and we can unmute you. Nothing so far.
Okay. So if we want to go back to the instructions, we have and another thing that's different is if they would like to apply for QI funding, they can do it immediately after they apply for level 2. They can, at any level, level 1, they can apply for QI funding. But let's say, for example, they just completed their level 2 application. They can go to the QI funding page, which is somewhere. Well, you can click, they can click on the quality improvement and they can apply for QI funding then. So they don't have to wait until their level 2 is approved. They can apply at any time once any application is complete. So here's the QI funding instructions. Same thing, very beginning, we have how you authenticate. This is another bad one. Here, let me. That didn't work. Yeah, sorry about this. I didn't have any of this stuff prepared. Let's see. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, well, we'll just suffer through this. So when they get to their page, there's a button here. This is what I was talking about. You may qualify for QI funds. So they can click that button and get a bunch of blank screens. Hold on. They can click that button and they get to this page. In this case, their application is complete. So they can just click the QI funds button, and then since this is a test environment, it's not connecting to EC Connect, then their information here would be down here that says what they qualify for, and then they can connect to the county, or the ECC rather. Let's see, where is this?
Question. It says
Yeah, we
navigators.
mentioned this. Oh, go ahead.
Navigators had capability of doing something before. For example, submit an application. Is that the same or is that changed?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Well, so hold on, Karen, are you saying that, and this is Karen from DCC, not Karen in Bowdoin. Are you saying that the QI navigators could submit applications for the provider?
No.
Because they could not. Yeah.
No. All of this is from the program user view. So this is what the
Yeah,
program
and let me
user
address that really, really quickly. So, when we very first rolled out, 6 years ago, we did have the capability of quality navigators to support programs by submitting applications and those sorts of things. And we got a tremendous amount of feedback from providers saying they did not want that option, mainly because some providers were getting applications submitted that they had and they didn't even know about it. So that feature's been disabled for a couple of years at least now. So we've not had that application. So our QI navigators have view-only access and all of this information, but certainly in a phone call with a program, you'd be able to pull their information up and see what they're seeing and be able to help them and walk them through that way. Hopefully that answered the question, but if not, Karen, let us know.
So back to how the QI Navigator accesses it, that you go to the new dashboard. And this is how you access their information. And you can go to and see all of the pages. You just can't take any action on them.
We have a question that somebody's confused. I wonder if we can unmute them and have them ask their, oh, here it goes. Never mind.
So it says, are you saying a QI nav will not be able to submit the Colorado Shines application for level 2 or level 3 through 5, or that the NAVs will not be able to submit an application for funding now too? So QI navigators aren't able to submit applications for providers now or in the future. It's the provider's responsibility and their right to fill out their application and to submit for that rating, whether it's a 2 or 3 through 5, and to submit for quality improvement funds. Hope that answers your question. And we do, encourage the QI navigators to guide them through the process, perhaps even do a screen share, but a QI nav will not have login capability to get into that program.
So you can see their dashboard or their application, you just can't edit it. Any other questions? So the level 3 is very much the same, filling out the application. You just get a level 3, submit for level 3 button. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, I should mention this. There are 2 ways to get to the application. You can go here to applications, and there are these buttons. Once a program has a history of applications, they'll show up here. And then if there is an application, like a level 3 through 5 application for review, once the assessment is complete, then information will be here. And back to home, or alternately, they can start an application from this page, from the home page. So this one already has a level 2, so they can't start a new application, and they won't be able to start a new level 2 application until 3 months before their application or their level 2 rating expires. So that's why this is grayed out. And since this program is already a level 2, they are eligible to start a level 3 through 5 or an alternative pathway application. And you'll see throughout the pages, there's the access to the full program guide. There's the help tab where they can access, information about loading their level 3 through 5 documents. And then the basic information that we previously had about earning points, completing an alternative pathway application, and resources, etc. And then down here is your council. The council's phone number should be there, but it's not. It's not in the sandbox here. And then QRS contact information and PDIS help contact information. And that's all on the help page.
We have one more question in here. There are times a provider may be having trouble and we can go in and refresh things or maybe connect to staff. So we won't be able to do that anymore.
I'm sorry, connect staff? What do you mean by that?
Not sure.
Probably in the workforce. This is Debbie. I think that's what they're maybe adding.
So on the workforce, when they click on the workforce page, it automatically updates the workforce. So once you land on that page, that information is updated automatically.
Yeah, I think what Julia is saying is that there was some level of access for editing. There really shouldn't have been, but there has been evidently that QI navigators have had. And so I think she's nervous, I think, a little bit about the fact that that won't be there.
I think she means actually adding a staff on the application under workforce and connecting it to a classroom.
So they aren't able to add staff. They've never been able to add staff. Staff is brought into the workforce page through the connection with PDIS. And if there's staff members that aren't on this, they need to contact PDIS. And then once that's PDIS has helped them, then they can come back to this page and it'll automatically refresh. And we went over how you get the
so they can add them to the classroom though. So you just showed us is what
the program user can add the staff to the classroom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unmute Julia to make sure that we answered her question, if that's okay.
Hey guys, I'm just trying to get some clarity on, we've had a lot of, I guess, access up to this point. So we've been able to basically edit the application except for being able to submit it with those little white boxes. We've been able to add to the QIP. We've been able to, we can't submit for their application, their level 3 to 5 or the level 2 or their alternate pathway. And we've also been able to apply for the grant for them if they ask us to. So my question is, does that mean all of that access is being taken away? Because we have some people that really struggle with technology, and really we support them as much as we can on the back end. So I'm just trying to understand if all of that's being taken away, or is there still some level that we can provide support for them?
Yeah, like when we roll out, this is my understanding, and everything's by user type, license type, is that there isn't that editability access inside the application once we go live with this new process. I think the idea being is that we really want the provider to take responsibility, and I get what you're saying, Julia, I do. And know that that's a challenge. I think the better option would be for them, to screen share with them and see what they're seeing, and maybe help them through that process, so that if they come back on 3 years from now and need to do this again, they'll have some familiarity with it. When they get to go, and that was a lot of the feedback we got when people were starting to reapply for the ratings and things like that later, were that that their QI navigator done everything for them, so they had no idea what they were doing. So that's not a good thing either. So, but yeah, I think, trying to figure out that balance. We, as of when this thing first rolls out next week, absolutely that will be the case. If there's a case to be made to, change levels of access, we certainly can entertain that at some point. So, but we'd like to get the provider owning this, all of this information within the application.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
Oh, we do have a few. So just a reminder, everything from the system that's there today will be there on Monday. So all that information will transfer. Programs will not start with a blank application.
Right. Because we're not transferring any data. The data will be there. We're just changing the look and feel.
And we have another question. It says providers almost always have issues with the password and login into QRIS. Is this issue going to be fixed? Usually 99% of the time it really is the provider having issues, whether if they have a firewall or something blocking that, or something blocking that password reset, or many times they don't know their login ID. But it is working on our end.
And in addition to that, we have a lot of providers that are trying to log into their QRIS portal using the link to log into ATS, those who have are CCAP providers. So we see that a lot. Typically what we recommend is that they use the same password. That way, when they log in, they'll log in and see that they're in the wrong place.
And we do have a comment. It says, when they're entering into an application with the state and the council, their agreement, etc., they enter because of that. The program needs to do that from a legal standpoint, in my mind. And that
Sorry,
is,
Monica, I can't hear you.
oh, sorry, it's not a question. We just have someone agreeing that when a provider enters the information in the application, and it's basically from a legal standpoint, they're agreeing to have their information there and to sign up for those QI dollars. So we have people agreeing that they don't think that the QI navigators should be able to fill out the application for the providers. And then we do have a question that says, did the high needs page change to reflect the high needs list now being used for the expanded CSQI?
The high needs list was updated a little bit, and it's really now aligned to the high needs definition that's in the SRQIP rules.
Are we talking about this high needs list?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Okay. But that is a good point. Another thing that we changed was, let's see, where is that? On the home page. We did change these values here. So what did we take out?
We took, it's in there the right way, Color Shines Funding.
Yeah, yeah.
So we took out SRQIP and ITQA, which was listed on the old application. Actually, we didn't catch it, but Stacy Petty did. Yay, thank you, Stacy. So we've got it now as Colorado Shines Funding, and then we took those other two out. So
And Stacy also helped us a lot with some of the wording and grammar and that sort of thing. And we were able to get all those changes incorporated. So that was really helpful. So we'll all sound a little bit smarter because of Stacy.
Yeah, just overall thanks to Stacy, Kristen, and we had a couple other QI navigators that were doing some testing for us, and it was just a really helpful process. So thank you all.
Anything else? Anything that anyone wants to review or get a second look at before we're all thrown in the deep end of the pool on Monday morning? I say that because I can't swim.
No more questions.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Karen?
No, I just want to, let you guys know too, and this question did come up, and I think Monica addressed it, but, if you get out there on Monday and you start to see something that's feeling a little unstable or not working the way it needs to, definitely give us a call. We've got some very specific standing times for the next 2 days after we launch with our vendor in case something it happens. Things you think you've tested everything and you roll something over and into production and quirky things happen. So we have them ready and able and waiting for our call to say if there's anything that's showing up that shouldn't be, and that way they can get to work on it right away. So if you think it's weird, just call us, even if it might not be. So it'll just be helpful for us if we can get those over to them quickly. Thanks.
Yeah, and be sure to point anything out to us so that we can fix it, and especially during the time that we have the vendors at our beck and call, that would be great.
We got a couple more questions that came in real quick.
Okay.
If a provider completes level 2 application today, will he be able to apply for QI funds on Monday? And that depends on how quickly the level 2 is approved.
No. Actually, they can apply for the QI funding immediately after they submit their level 2 application.
Okay.
And they can.
Yeah, because now programs can apply at level 1, and that's why that's changed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Starting December 1st. Okay. And then can you go back to the homepage real quick, Dorothy, for somebody who wasn't able to see it?
Okay, we're on the homepage.
Okay. Michelle, is there anything else you want to see on this page?
You might want to also click on program profile, because we've got these 2 tabs now up here under the homepage. There's actually 2 tabs, whereas before it was kind of in one place and you were just kind of scrolling across the application. But so this is a little different. It's just kind of a getting used to it page layout, I think, where some of the stuff used to be in the bottom left corner of your current application. It's now under this program details tab.
Okay, I think we're good with that.
Okay.
Oh, there's a question while you're there, Dorothy. Can programs still add more personalized info about their program?
Yes, they can.
So glad this got asked.
Okay, let me stop being this person.
You're right there.
Yeah, but let me log in as a user, so they can see how that is done.
So what I'm planning as well is, like, after we get this rolled out, what we'll do is continue these weekly emails for just a little bit on some of those specific, like this enhancement. that they can go in and get this changed and add it to, and it'll show up on the Colorado Shines website. So we'll do a few more communications out like that as well.
I'm not in the right place. Okay, so, and this one's, it's already been done, but you go to the program profile and they can edit this and upload their picture here, upload files, and then they can put in whatever details they want about their program. And this will show up on the search page, the Colorado Shines search page.
After it's been approved.
After it's been approved. Okay, any other questions?
Somebody asked, I have programs now that are waiting on L2 approval. Can they go ahead and apply now? So yeah, sounds like.
No, if they're waiting for L2 approval, they have to wait for L2 approval. They've already applied. This isn't a different system. This is the same system. So
And are they talking about quality improvement? Are they talking about?
I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
what the question is. Yeah.
Right. They will be able to apply for quality improvement.
And then somebody asked, can you send a practice account so we can practice before attempting to help a provider?
We'll have the help documents available for you. And unfortunately, at this point, the you know, we're rolling everything over this week, and so we won't be able to send out test accounts after today. But we did have quite a few folks of your of field staff in there, and much of the feedback was that it's pretty very similar and pretty intuitive. So so definitely what you can do is just review those help documents so that you're familiar with page layout, and we'll get those sent out to you. As soon as you get this recording, we'll send it out to everybody who was on the attendee list today for sure. So you'll have those right away.
And then another question, how long is the approval process for this piece? I'm assuming it's the picture.
So it goes through the help desk, and so generally it's not more than a day or two unless we have to reach back out to a program to say, you know, we're questioning something. And I don't think we have to do that all too often. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. But then there's an overnight processing, I think, for it to get actually up on the website. There's a refresh that happens each night.
And then there's another question, but it's a different funding stream. So I'm just gonna unmute you, Lilith, if you can speak more onto that.
I was just trying to clarify a little bit more if a program is filling out for their level 2, they don't have to be approved to apply for funding for that level 2, but then they're going to be applying for a different set of funding. So like if a program with that has a CCAP and is trying to get a level 2 to be eligible for CSQI targeted, then they will not be eligible for funding until they get that level 2 because they have a CCAP. Is that just because
yeah, so
funding? So that I was trying to get a clearer picture of that.
Yeah, I don't think so. The only time so programs at level 1 can still apply. If they have the fiscal, they'll go to the targeted funds. If they don't have the fiscal, they'll go to the expanded funds.
Oh,
That's
yes.
how it's supposed to be set up. Yeah.
Yes.
So they don't have to have the level 2. Now they do have to have the level 2 or higher to apply for quality improvement funding. I'm sorry, I'm like totally getting
For
screwed up
capital
here.
improvement.
Capital improvement
Yeah.
funding. So, but other than that, they can just be level 1 and apply.
Okay, no, it's been a long week.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I
Point.
hear what
yeah.
you're saying, and I'm like, wait a minute, we just talked about this yesterday.
I was checking to see if you guys knew.
So everybody just ignore that conversation.
Yeah, everyone just pretend
Yeah.
it never happened. Thanks, guys.
Okay, if there are no other questions, remember on Monday, if anything seems wonky or broken, to reach out to the Colorado Shines help desk, and while we still have the vendors at our beck and call, so we can get things corrected quickly.
All right, that's it with the questions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Dorothy.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.